the House didn't send us over too much that was bad, really, from judiciary. There's some stuff that's kind of like, I wish we didn't have to talk about, like the cell phone, the electronic device bill, which I think is going to, they're trying to get it so people who are using an electronic device, not just a phone, but like you're looking at your MapQuest, trying to tell you directions, that they would ticket you like hundreds of dollars. It was a lot. And I really do think it would affect or impact people who don't have a fancy car where they can integrate those things into their car. So they're having to use a handheld aftermarket item to get some of the benefit of the electronic, GPS or, a telephone, whatever. And so there's a House version of that bill coming to the Judiciary Committee. That's one I'm not real excited about.
Right, so it hasn't passed, but you're expecting it might pass?
Well, we passed the Senate version of it. It was Peter Courtney's bill. It's over on the House side. Now the House bill came over. It's a very similar type bill. There's been a lot of that where similar bills were swapping places. And so that was one that is kind of controversial. There's one that was...
Yeah, I did that today. I was on my way over here, and they were doing construction, and
you're having to go around, try to
figure out how to go around it. Well, and I had no idea, how to go around it, so that was really frustrating. But anyway, there was an alternative route on there, but I had my phone there trying to, and I don't have a way to set it up.
You would have been guilty of using your electronic device. While driving. I'm saying, well, why is it safer to look at a piece of paper that you printed out from MapQuest than it is a backlit, device? You're holding something regardless. So anyway, sort of some controversy there. And then, I mean, there's always good intentions behind all these bills. It's always,
but it takes away our
good
rights.
intention. It just kind of tends to... You're legislating to the lowest level. You're trying to get at the bad actors, but they're usually the ones that are just going to do it no matter what. And then everybody else is caught up in it and having to pay hefty fines and get caught into that little vortex of trying to pay those off and getting their license suspended because they can't, that happens sometimes for people just for non-driving, even driving or non-driving offenses where people just can't afford it. And so then they eventually get their licenses suspended, and then they just keep getting further and further into trouble. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of late teens and young 20s that could say, amen.
a little collateral damages there.
Yeah,
but they're having good things that have passed this session, I think.
So this session seems to be better than it's been in the past, like less...
well, so far, because a lot of the controversial stuff hasn't really come up too much. I mean, the most controversial things this session have been surrounding rent control, which hasn't rent control and the ability for a landlord to evict somebody for no cause. People are saying that is not right, but they're not thinking about the other side of it. A lot of times the tenants are wanting the landlord to evict that person because they're annoying, but they don't have a cause per se because they're still paying their rent.
How about just the rights? How about just our own freedom and our own rights? I mean, that's terrible to think that you could be a landlord and maybe you want your mother-in-law to move in and well, sorry, you've been a great tenant, but...
but you still have a very, long, very restrictive, prescriptive process to go through as a landlord right now in order to evict somebody. It's not like you're just like kicking somebody out to the curb, one day. They have notices and all that. So, but, okay, so that's one of the controversial bills that's kind of out there. Raising the non-economic damages cap from $500,000 is pretty controversial. A lot of the doctors are saying, no, we're not going to be able to afford to operate or have our business, our doctor's practice in the rural areas if this goes up. And then a lot of business people are saying that they're going to be negatively affected. And then you have the victims out there that saying, well, we need to raise this because we need to stop these bad actors. So it goes back and forth on that. Tobacco licensing people who sell tobacco, they're already kind of licensed right now. They have to go through a process to sell it. And so this would just makes it, I don't know what the whole point of that was, because they would still be probably the same people selling it, but they would just be double licensed, double feed and all that.
And what's their purpose for that?
I don't know. Just to raise money, I guess.
Is it to help people who get lung cancer? I mean, is it something like that? Or?
No, I can't see why, because they're licensing you to sell it. So I don't think that's it. I really don't know on that one. But of course, the PERS reforms that are out there, the bills are officially dead, but the concepts are still alive as far as cost containment, which we're trying to rein in some of that, because a lot of the expenses that agencies and schools, et cetera, local governments are facing are personal costs and the retirement system. And it's really cutting into their ability to, especially local governments, to keep services where they are, because they're having to like pay these big bills, and so they're having to cut back, and they're not saving money at all. They're just having to cut back, and that kind of bothers people. So. And they're wondering, why is my government, I'm paying all this money and yet I'm not getting the service. So, so those are some of the bigger controversial. Plus the transportation package, you're talking about that, and the budget in general.